Dracula and Nosferatu host their own podcast where they just review blood.
This one's a bit chalky.
That'd be so good. And I think the irony is I've never heard Nosferatu speak, so he's just silent on the show. like it'd have to be a video podcast, but it's just him doing mannerisms.
That'd be fantastic.
Oh, fuck.
I'd listen in.
That would be hilarious.
That'd be one I'd listen to.
Oh, fuck.
All right. I will tell you this right now. This is going to be the first episode in a long time. I have no agenda other than the review.
Oh, that's cool.
I've spent so much time the past 2 weeks just getting out all this shit together for the other ones. I'm like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, I just kind of like the idea of no agenda anyway.
Remember when we went like for a long stretch there, we just went super old school, minus doing the reviews on the show.
Yeah.
It was just fucking random conversation.
Yeah.
That was true. A lot of fun. It's probably not fun for the audience, but it's fun for us.
Yeah. It's kind of like going to a restaurant and you're like sitting down at the table with your family, but you could just hear two loud ass motherfuckers just talking a table away from you about random bullshit. Like, did you just hear what they said? Kind of like that.
Yeah. Our podcast is definitely like that sometimes. It hasn't been as of recent, but I feel like it is. It has been historically in the past.
Yeah, it really has. Bitching about dad and his cooking techniques and
which are atrocious. He's not here today. He's not here with us. He's
no, he died.
He's dead. That is true. His money's going to be dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
He's in Atlantic City because he's too poor to go to Vegas.
Pretty much. It does seem like a poor man's gambling city.
Yeah, I've never been. I heard it's kind of fun, but I don't know. I guess it's like going to Reno on the East Coast.
Like, there's already a bunch of fuddy-duddies in Vegas. Like it draws.
Yeah, Vegas is annoying as shit.
A certain type of eclectic personalities, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
You've got these upper echelon, high and mighty folk, right? These people that have this posturization of like, I'm made of wealth, right?
Yeah, but like Vegas, there's so many people that are wealthy, but if you go to Vegas, it's only to show off.
And then you got the alley cats. these wild alley cats somehow managed to find their way into the doors.
Oh, you mean like the
very disheveled?
Yeah, kind of like the kid that I paid to kick him in the nuts.
Right. Yes.
And at the same time, you could see in the background someone passing by in a Lamborghini.
Right.
And you're like, whoa.
It's like
only in this world.
You have your top 11-ish upper echelon casinos and hotels on the strip. But even
there's some nice ones.
But even on the strip, there's just some people don't go into. Like Golden Nugget.
Yeah, Golden Nugget. No, Golden Nugget's fun.
It Golden Nugget is. Now, Golden Nugget,
it's fun.
Is a hidden gem. Play on, really not trying to be a pun, but but they had the lowest interest rates on withdrawing cash from their money machines than any other hotel I've ever seen.
I think they also had like Golden Nugget had all those fucking untraditional games too.
Oh yeah,
like weird shit.
Like, listen, you go into a casino in fucking Vegas, and the ceilings are 100 feet tall. And you're like, this is the, I don't even know how to describe this. This is a fucking theme park. You go into a Golden Nugget, the ceilings are 8 feet tall.
Yeah, if you're 6'5", you're scraping your head.
There's smoke everywhere.
Ratty ass carpet. Yeah, it's just nasty as shit. Because Golden Nugget's like next to Harrah's.
Yeah, and
Harrah's is also kind of a shit dive. But it's like the entry to big boy casinos is like what Harrah's is. But then you have like Cosmo and Aria in the Venetian that are like super upscale.
Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, Cosmo is fucking, that's like my favorite one.
It's a sweet one.
I actually like staying in that place. Their rooms are insane. Yeah, Vegas is strange. I'm going to be there in June, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, June. And I'm like, I haven't been there in years.
Oh, it's going to be fucking hot.
It's going to be super hot. Oh yeah, your shoes fucking melt. I mean, I won't be outside. It's been a while since I've been there. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it at all. Like it's just, I mean, I'm there for work, so it's just a drag, but fuck, it's just hot. And it's just this, I get no enjoyment out of casinos because I'm not a big gambler.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen one of the Cirque du Soleil shows there and I'm like, that's cool, but I could go without seeing another one again. I mean, the only thing I'd really want to see is Siegfried and Roy. I think one of them died, right? Is it just Roy now? Yeah. Didn't a Tiger Attack one?
Yeah.
Like I would go to that show just hoping that one of the tigers would eat somebody.
You know who I'd like to see if he was still there?
The magic guy, Chris Angel?
No. Carrot Top.
He is still there.
Oh.
He has a room at the Luxor. He like lives at the top of the Luxor.
He's still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Is he still performing?
Still performing.
Oh.
Yeah. He's had a residency there for a long time.
Yeah, he just spilled the beans on why he doesn't work out like he used to.
Why?
Apparently he got really bored. That's why he got so jacked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the only reason was because if I understand this correctly,
Yeah, he's thick, man.
He only got buff because he was bored during the day. Because he wasn't.
That makes sense. You're a residency. You don't travel anywhere. You just play at night.
He got bored, so he decided to work out, and then he got huge.
And let's be real, Carrot Top doesn't have friends, so of course you're gonna be bored.
Yeah,
it's sad. He seems like a cool guy, though. Really, honestly, he seems like a decent dude.
Yeah, he does actually. He seems very.
Like I feel like he'd be fun to hang out with.
I feel like he's. I mean, I've always known him as like this crazy personality type. Like back in the day of like seeing him on like Cartoon Network. I don't know if anybody remembers those moments where Cartoon Network had like a late night and those like moments where you'd see Carrot Top on there.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great. But he was always this over the top character. So it's like.
Would you say he was over the Carrot Top?
He could be. He was definitely ahead of lettuce. I feel like there's plenty of vegetable jokes we can try to throw out there. Dad vegetable jokes.
There's definitely there's some ones in there for sure.
But yeah, he seems more humble. Maybe he's always been humble. I could be totally wrong. It just seems like that's his personality type now, from what I vaguely remember. But he just seems like a chill dude now, and he's slimmed down a bit. He's not as jacked, and I just kind of want to see him.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I mean, he's a prop comic, which is kind of that's an art in and of itself. There's not a lot of prop comics.
No.
Then you have guys that like shove their hands up fucking puppets. Jeff Dunham. Listen, and I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm a comedy purist.
Yeah,
I know a lot about comedy, a lot, balls deep. Jeff Dunham doesn't even crack the top 10. Doesn't even crack not even the top 15.
Yeah,
I think Jeff Dunham is annoying as shit. I fucking hate his comedy. Hate it. I despise it. As a matter of fact, if I ever saw him in his puppet, I would murder his puppet in front of him. I'd strangle it and make him watch it.
Yeah. I don't.
It's weak comedy. It's pathetic comedy because it's not funny. It's not funny comedy. He's just fucking. The only thing he can do is make his mouth look like it's not moving.
What about?
It's not funny.
Isn't there like another comedian who's quite skilled at ventriloquism? He's a heavier guy. He's got like a goatee. He's also in Vegas, and he does ventriloquism and jokes and singing. Oh man, what's his name? Audience, do you remember his name? Oh, you're not fucking there.
You're not thinking of the Amazing Jonathan because he doesn't do puppet. He does magic, and he's great.
No. He was, I believe, he's like on American Idol or something like that too. Ventriloquist, Vegas.
You're gonna get Jeff Dunham.
Heavy dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can.
Did
Terry Fader.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Terry? Okay.
No, which means he's irrelevant.
Terry Fader.
Who the fuck goes to watch prop comedy unless it's Carrot Top? Hold on, let me see this guy.
Terry Fader.
Oh, fuck that guy. He looks like a fucking cunt.
But he can sing, man. He does Elvis. He does apparently Trump.
Ew. No, fuck that guy. His name looks like Terry Fatter, which, looking at him over time, he's done just that. Yeah, fuck off. Fuck off, prop comics. You know what? Add it to my list of people who can fucking just piece off this earth. Prop comics.
The only prop you should have up on stage is that fucking microphone.
Amen. I agree with that, actually. I do agree with that. I did find out that Tom Segura has residency now in Vegas.
Really?
He had it like for a short period of time, and I guess he's like does it like 1 month at a time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
that lets you know you're big time.
He's living the life at this point.
I said Chris Angel earlier. What happened? What happened to him?
What happened to Chris Angel?
Where'd he go? Did he disappear himself?
That would be the ultimate trick. Like they like go into the FBI database and like
he's just gone.
We don't even have a social security for Chris Angel.
And there's no record of him.
No photo of him.
There's no video. There's no old no one has video. It's all gone.
It's like we checked all the traffic cams.
Like we know he exists because everybody knows who he is. But the whole trick is,
dude, that'd be the most
he's
killer.
able to erase everything.
That'd be the most killer fucking magic trick.
Like even if someone had cell phone footage of him, they go to look at it and it's gone.
Yeah.
How crazy
like
would that
you even
be?
go talk to his mom and like, didn't you have a son named Chris Angel? She's like, no. like, dude, that'd be the
everybody's
biggest
in on
mind
it.
fuck ever. I just spit.
That would
be the biggest mind fuck.
It'd be the biggest mind freak.
Oh shit.
See what I did there?
That's my outro. Like that is the outro. Like if I was Chris Angel, that's my outro. That's how I go out on top.
Yeah, of course.
Outdo Houdini.
You just disappear.
Outdo fucking what's his name?
Here's the thing though. Do you think Tupac's gonna beat him?
Dude, what if Tupac is there? Dude, what if he is alive?
Could be.
What do you think he would change his name to? If he was like in a witness protection program, going from something like Tupac, what do you think his name would be?
Darren.
Darren.
Be like, man, you look awful like Tupac. He goes, my name's Darren, damn it. You're like, I don't know.
I just hope he like kind of stuck with the number and short name. Like, well, Tupac, you're gonna have to change your name if you're going to a witness program. Have you thought of a name yet? Yeah, man. So what is it gonna be? 3 cheese. 3 cheese. Okay.
Tupac. What about 4 tag?
4 tag. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
All right. We're with it. You look an awful lot like Tupac. He goes, bro, my name's 4 tag. Like,
you look really much like Tupac.
But he just has like a fake mustache that's kind of peeling off of his face. It's like sweated off. It's hanging over his lip. Damn, I told you twice I'm 4 tag. Like, I don't know. You look an awful lot like Tupac. That'd be fucking
It's possible.
Great. That would be great. That'd be pretty funny if just like, dude, what if Chris Angel disappears? Like he erases everything. Tupac's gone. Biggie's gone. But what if all 3 of them come back at the same time?
What if Elvis comes
It'd
back?
be the biggest event in history.
What if Elvis comes back too, but he's like 100? And you're like, what the fuck? You should be dead. Like, how is that possible?
He's this whole time has been aimlessly walking around the United States as like a homeless guy.
Yeah, he just goes,
Yeah.
It's like, hey, man, you need some
People are like, that's Sling Blade. It's like, no, it's Elvis all along.
Yeah. That's all he says now.
He's got a big ratty beard, barely can walk.
Hi, Mr. Presley. Do you need some more Jello? He's sitting in the nursing home. Poor guy.
Even when the answer's no.
Yeah. But he's like crying. It's like, you sure? He just wants to say no.
So bad.
But he can't.
It reminds me of that guy from what the fuck's that show? And the only thing you can do is ring the bell.
Oh.
But he's like sweating and crying because he's about to get fucking Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad when he gets blown up.
Yeah, and he's like ringing the bell and he's just
he blows himself up.
Is it going crazy? Oh, dude, that's
a killer scene.
Fucking sick scene. Damn, that scene's good.
Blows himself up.
Yeah, that fucking scene was rad.
To kill that dude.
That was rad. Have you watched Drive to Survive yet?
No.
I don't understand why.
Is it the new
4 seasons out?
Is it like a Netflix series? Oh, I don't have Netflix.
That's a real bummer.
Yeah. That's the issue.
Dude, it's so fucking good. And I'm so excited for this season. The season starts this Sunday's first race.
Did they show off some of the new cars in the new series?
No, because the new car's just released.
Oh, I feel like
the new car's released in early February.
Because I feel like that'd have been a perfect chance to really blow up this season if they just kept it non-disclosure.
I bet they showed the concept car. The problem is F1 approved a concept car, and that's what they showed off as like, here's what the guidelines are. This is what a car would potentially look like given the guidelines. And they all look very similar to that first initial concept car. They may show that in the show. I'm not done with it yet.
Oh.
But the actual new F1 car is just released in February, and they'll be raced this weekend for the first time. I watched the practice series last week. That was like their preseason. Dude, I feel like it's anyone's game. I really feel like
the competitive landscape has crunched.
It has. I think you can tell that it's collapsing a bit. The strange thing to me is that like Mercedes' design on their car from what they initially built to what they came to preseason 2 session with is completely different. Like the aerodynamics are different. And it's interesting because Lewis Hamilton talks, like he posted a thing. He's like, I hate to say it, but we're not really going for wins right now. We got to figure out the car. It's a new car. It's a lot of different things to get used to. And I feel like that's just him bluffing like he usually does. But the aero looks so crazy on the car. It's so different from the other cars. Like, I don't know if it's good or bad. Like even like the announcers are like, we don't really know what to make of it at this point because really haven't tested it to its full capability yet. And we really won't know until it comes race week. So like tomorrow when they do FP1 and FP2, we're going to find out like how that car actually drives and maneuvers. And then in trials, you're really like when they actually do trials, like you're going to really qualifying, you're going to see everything. You're going to see how it all works at full potential. And I think it's going to be really interesting because their aerodynamics look fucking wild. They're so different from the other cars. Like the other cars, there's differences between each car. Like Ferrari's has this huge bulge out each side for aero, like essentially pushing the air down the fins and then back up into the back fin. And Mercedes like cuts in. So instead of like having like, if I'm looking at the front of the car, like Ferrari starts like their aero starts up here on the side and kind of like dips down a little bit and then kind of like flushes back up just to get that air pressure to keep the car down. Mercedes like cuts in on the side and like down. It looks like someone just dented the fuck out of the side of their car and just like made this huge pocket. But apparently it's supposed to keep the car super grounded. But even the fin's different. Like the way that the DRS stuff works now is like completely different in the back. And people are listening to this that don't know anything about F1 are like, what the fuck's he talking about? It's totally different. So like, I honestly think...
And they're allowing that much variability on the body?
Dude, it's totally different. But that's the cool thing this session. That's why Haas kind of like threw away last session is because they're putting all their money into 2022. Now, here I have a conspiracy theory around Haas. It's not even a conspiracy theory. It's pretty much what happened. So they ended up firing one of their drivers, Nikita Mazepin. Nikita Mazepin is a Russian driver. His dad is the owner of their biggest sponsor. So he was a shitty fucking driver last year. Nikita Mazepin is fucking terrible, and his dad seems like a fucking douche face. But they couldn't do anything because his dad's the one giving him money. So if his dad's like, my son's racing,
don't get another buyer or sponsor.
You can't fucking do anything. But then this little war called the Russian-Ukraine war, Haas was like, we're siding for the Ukraine. So, hey, Russian Nikita Mazepin and your dad and your Russian company, yow.
Yeah.
And they booted both of them. And they brought back Kevin Magnussen, who's actually a really good driver. So now it's Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen are both driving for Haas now. And so far, their practice sessions have been really good.
Isn't that so strange? It's not strange. I think everybody could see the reasonings behind why, probably. But don't you find it strange that something that ostensibly has nothing to do with political gain?
It just gave them the out they wanted.
But it was just enough, like this moralistic view, like...
It's exactly why he's gone.
Like, nope. We don't want any part.
They knew he was a shitty driver. He fucking drove like shit last year, and he's a fucking dick. Like, he would get in everybody's way, like during qualifying, and like not move out of the way. Like, he would do things to like purposely sabotage other drivers. And then I think Haas was finally like, this is our out. This is how we get Nikita Mazepin out of here. And then they just happened to bring back Kevin Magnussen, who's a great driver who raced for Haas before, and it's like he was just waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
Like it just like as soon as Nikita Mazepin was gone the next day, they're like, we got Kevin Magnussen back, and everyone's like, But this season's going to be dope because the way that the cars are built is they're going to be super fast on the straightaway. They're shorter wheelbase, but there's certain turns, like tight turns, they're not going to be able to execute those turns as fast, which gives everybody the ability to pass in the turns, because that's where people pass. You pass in turns. I mean, you can pass on straightaways when you have DRS, but for the most part, like there's certain like turns where you can cut in the inside edge or get to the outside, hit the gas, go into the straightaway, and you use that as your means to kind of launch pass and get position on somebody, right? So the whole idea is that these cars' maneuverability should create more overtakes. And that's what the fan base has wanted. More overtakes. We want more action throughout the race, and we want things to be evened out, which is what they're trying to achieve with this new car. So it'll be very interesting. Obviously, I'm Team McLaren. I'm hoping they do really good this year. They got both the drivers back. So Lando Norris, who did a fantastic job last year. Daniel Ricciardo was off to a slow start, but ended up finishing out the season fairly strong. Had a couple really, really good races. And this new car, I hope that they both dominate.
Yeah.
But it's going to be like them and Ferrari again. I think Red Bull will be I think Red Bull is going to have a better year than they even did last year. They'll probably come out on top. I would assume Mercedes is like a crapshoot. I don't know. Given that like weird aerodynamics, I have no idea what's going to happen. It's a weird looking car. I'll show you later. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like it just looks like someone just bashed in the sides with a hammer and was like, that's it. That's what we're doing. And you're like, all right, that looks weird. Hope it works.
That's very strange.
It is strange. You know what I was doing the other day? So I was on Instagram and I was thinking about something. I may have told you this before. Like sometimes I'll just go through and I'll look at my like explore page to see like what just pops up, like what Instagram thinks it should be feeding me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like really surprised by some of the stuff that comes up because I'd like not looked at any, although this is pretty dope. It's like one of the first things, this is the new Z71 Tahoe. So that's pretty sweet.
That is pretty sweet.
So like that. And then I've got a picture of some, a lady named Whiskey Wine Woman who's clearly got fake titties on her. Drummers. I always have drummers. Drummers always pull up on mine. That I actually look for. Here's like only real NFL news, which I don't look up any NFL shit. This bitch is about to take all my money. Which is just a meme about Patrick Mahomes. Here's another semi-attractive lady smoking a cigar. Yeah, it plays out. A new like extended Bronco. It's like, it's so weird. I go through here and I go, why is this shit? Like, look at this. This is ugly ass fucking like Toyota RAV4 or whatever. I'm like, how does that pull up on my Instagram?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, where does that? This makes sense. Some F1 stuff, right?
I'm probably.
Oh, here we go. The Cigar 1 by Pravada. That showed up.
Probably embarrassed.
That's because I'm obsessed with those cigars. Just like all this. Look at this one. Like I don't look up bodybuilding. Chris, look at this guy. Like, how's this pop up on my fucking top?
There's no way that's right.
It's like, I'm wondering if anybody else goes through like just their explore page on Instagram and just goes, why the fuck is all this here? Because there's some things I can like reconcile and go, okay, that makes sense. But then there's a bunch of other stuff where I go, well, that doesn't make sense at all. Like, this is not a thing that I've ever searched for, looked for. And then part of me is like, the whole like, are they listening to me pops in my head? Or like, they listening to my wife? Are they listening to, who are they listening to? Like, out, like, what is my phone listening to where it's like, I think you should look at this. Check this out. Like, I don't look up. I mean, it's just showing like attractive females smoking cigars. I don't search for attractive female smoking cigars. I don't like sit on those pages. Like, I don't look at anybody smoking cigars. Ironically, it's like, I don't have enough time to look at other people smoking cigars because I have to run my own shit. So like, how does that pop up?
I don't know.
It's
really
so
don't.
strange, dude. Fucking social media's got me in all fucking pretzel. Got me all twisted up.
But I bet
in a
you
knot.
it's real messed up anyway, just considering there's like this stifling effect.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just showing me what's left over.
Yeah, like there's just
It's like, this is all that's there now. This is all you get. Yeah, it's super strange. Which, by the way, cheap plug on last week's episode. Oh shit, never mind. Well, if you're listening to this right now, it probably is out again. But as I'm saying it right now, episode 234 is not out because we did transition podcast platforms, and it's not been easy. It's been kind of a pain in the ass. Had to do it. The old platform, I feel like, was not updated to current times. It was rather expensive for the things that you get. So it was time to migrate away, and that's what we did. And it's been nothing short of a fucking pain in the ass for me.
Yeah.
So that's been challenging to say the least. Not very fun, but
so long, old platform.
Yeah, I'm excited to get away from the old platform. I'm not that excited to get on the new one, so I think I'm going to move it again. But I'm going to move it in a week. Maybe we'll take like a week off from an episode or something. That way I give myself plenty of time to move shit around. Because they literally say, could take up to a week before the 301 redirect actually goes into place.
Oof, that's a long
now,
time.
It only took a couple days on this last one, and I suspect a week is as long as it would take. But it does say, give us up to a week to redirect your RSS feed. And I'm like, that seems like a long time. I'm playing the time game at that point. Because if I produce an episode and put it out on Monday and I ask for the redirect and it doesn't go into place till next Monday, then we're going to have problems. Then an episode's going to be missing, which is currently what's happening. And it's very frustrating. But if you are listening to this, hopefully episode 234 is out. And this is episode 235. So if you haven't listened to 234, you can go back and listen to 2 episodes, which is great.
Yeah.
It's a twofer.
Yeah.
We do have a review today.
That's
It's been a long fucking time.
I don't know if I know how to review anymore.
Dude, I'm a little, I don't know. It's weird. I cannot tell you the last time we did a review. Honestly, I don't remember. It was way before Christmas.
Do you think our review process is already antiquated?
According to the industry.
The new system don't work.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. It could be. But I will say this, excited to get in this review. But before we get into it, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back at you guys in just a minute. Hang tight.
You know, I'm getting to the point now, my age, my health, the fact that, you know, I've gotten all this social anxiety that I don't even want to leave my house anymore. The thing is, like, I still want to smoke cigars at home, but I sure as shit do not want to leave my home.
Yeah, well, you're perpetually sick, so there's a societal responsibility that you have as well.
I just wish there was like some way for me to like buy cigars without having to think about it.
I think I have the medicine for you. My cigar pack. Curated packs come straight to your door every single month.
Is it
5-pack of cigars, specially handpicked for you. And you can also subscribe to the Factory Direct program and get cigars that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, as long as it covers the Omnicrom variant, I'm good.
I heard they show up in hazmat suits.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that safety and protection are at top of mind.
That's
so
good.
you can visit My Cigar Pack, www.mycigarpack.com, to explore all their options. Again, that's www.mycigarpack.com. All right, we're back.
Hello.
I haven't done a review in a long time. It feels weird because I think we both forgot how to do it. But we're also reviewing an organization we've never technically reviewed before. Technically, we haven't reviewed this organization. This organization is Ferio Tego, Michael Herklotz's new organization. Now, we did review a Nat Sherman cigar way back when.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably 5 years ago now.
Yeah, that's true.
But so we decided, okay, well, let's do Ferio Tego. Ferio Tego is kind of erupted onto the market here in the past year. Ever since Michael Herklotz announced that he was going to essentially buy out the Nat Sherman cigar piece because he still has rights to some of the older blends, and of course has made new ones as a part of the Ferio Tego brand, which I think is awesome. It's kind of cool to see that live on, and suspected that was probably going to happen. I feel like a guy like that wasn't just going to exit the cigar scene and be like, see everyone, it's been fucking real.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, see everyone, be back in a minute. It's almost just like going to take a shit for 5 minutes and then coming back and be like, I'm here again, but just with my own new thing.
Yeah.
Which actually, by the way, is something I forgot to mention. Rick Rodriguez from CAO is done with CAO, and I suspect the same thing's going to happen. He was like, after all these years of being at CAO and blending a bunch of fucking garbage, I'm leaving. And then I'm like, dude, you're going to resurface in like 4 days, and we're going to figure out you're with some other fucking big brand now doing the same shit. coming out with the CEO Bones
wearing
or the fucking new Vision or whatever
already
the fuck
wearing
it is.
the brand T-shirt.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, who's it gonna be? Like, who's the flavor of the week? No pun intended.
Button-up collared shirt with the logo right across the chest.
Yeah, no shit. I don't know, I give the guy shit. I've never met him before, but I just felt like CAO is just fucking falling off the face of the earth in like the past 2 years, and his is the only name that anyone ever fucking associates with all these new blends that come out that are fucking horseshit. So I'm like, who else is to blame? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not him. Maybe everyone's like, you better do this and you're going to be the face of it. Like, I don't know realistically how that business works or operates, but it's like, dude, you're the guy coming out with the shit that I'm smoking. That fucking sucks. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's like good he's leaving, but then like there's no replacement announced or anything like that. It's like, what is CEO even doing? Who knows? But I assume Rick Rodriguez is probably going to resurface soon somewhere else. But yeah, so Michael Herklots, obviously, Nat Sherman is no more. So he started Ferio Tego, has been erupted again, like pushing hard into the cigar scene, which he already had a great reputation and a great name for a long time. So I didn't suspect it was going to be hard for him to like take this thing and just carry the torch. I assumed it was going to be, I'm not saying it's not a lot of work, but he's a recognizable name, a character in the cigar industry. So he's at a pretty good advantage in starting off a new brand or rebuilding an old brand that already had a good reputation. It's like everything's kind of in his favor to move it forward. You kind of have to fuck up really bad to like make it not successful.
Yeah.
So we are going to actually review one of the newer cigars, which is the Ferio Tego Generoso. I'm excited to review this cigar because I've had all the other Nat Sherman cigars. Historically, like I love the Timeless series cigars. The Metro line I was kind of like, which is still hanging on. But this is like a new blend, new cigar under the organization. So now we get to break it down. This was actually made at Plasencia. It's something that I wanted to highlight in this, simply for the fact that Plasencia contracts and blends for a lot of people. And they do have access to a ton of tobacco. And I'm interested in seeing, okay, because Michael Herklots is Michael Herklots, what's this going to be like? It's going to have some of those traditional Plasencia characteristics, or is it going to be different? Like, so that was one thing I want to concentrate, which is why I'm making sure that everybody understands this is a Plasencia made cigar. Released in 2021, it's Honduran wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan filler. It is a Toro 6x50. And by the way, comes in at a $21 price point. $21. So they're pretending to be Davidoff.
Woofy.
They're pretending to be Plasencia. That's steep.
That's up there.
It's bold. It's a bold fucking move. But I feel like if anyone can pull it off, it's going to be Michael Herklots. So let's see if he actually pulls it off. Let's get into it, Chris. We're going to break down construction, burn, and flavor. And then, of course, we're going to get into the pricing component of the cigar. We'll go over pros and cons, and then we'll give our final scores. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. What do you think about construction of the cigar?
I thought the construction was great, man. Rich milk chocolate kind of color, pretty firm, minimal veinage, slight grit to it, slight oiliness to it. Honestly, it looked great. I mean, it's a great looking cigar. The cap structure was great. I think it was quality rolled. You know how people sniff their cigars. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, it's
like people like run their nose up it, like they're snorting a line of coke. Like, what do you get out of that?
Maybe they are.
What do you get out of that?
Yeah, I always thought it was kind of weird because you may smell things on the wrapper, but it's going to be dynamically different once you smoke it.
Burning it.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of smelling it?
I don't know. That's the same reason people like smell.
I see it all the time.
Although I like doing this.
But it always comes
because it looks pretentious.
But I feel like the sniffing always comes at the forefront of like the beginning parts of a cigar review. Like, oh, it's a good looking cigar. All right.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. No, there's who's that fucking chode on YouTube?
The purpose.
The guy that looks like a bullfrog. He's kind of got like a lisp because his face is so fat. It like kind of, I think it pulls his teeth down. Who the fuck is that guy? He always says weird shit when it comes to like certain cigars. He is like basically like the half wheel of YouTube, where it's just like these outlandish fucking descriptors of what a cigar is. And he does that. Like he does it in the very beginning where he does like this fucking like weird sniff. I'm like, dude, if you sniff hard enough, if you keep sniffing that hard, the fucking wrapper's gonna shoot up into your nostrils.
Like it's like this. I feel like it's like the child who like accidentally sticks his finger in a little thing of poop and just feels so inclined that they gotta sniff their finger to see what it smells.
They're just like by themselves, but they're like,
I just don't understand what sniffing the cigar before it's burned actually does for you.
I mean, I've done it before. Like there's certain
I've done
cigars.
it.
There's certain cigars that are very, but here's the thing. I typically do it if I take the cellophane off the cigar and I can already tell how pungent it is, I'll bring it closer to be like, God damn, like a Davidoff's a perfect example.
So
But I never just take a cigar and just like,
just give you an example. You grab it, you sniff it. Most people, I think they sniff it. They're like, "Oh, that's gonna be a good cigar." But I'm thinking to myself, what if you ever grabbed a cigar and go, "Oh, like, oh, there's something wrong with that."
yeah, I mean,
When have
some
you
of
ever
them,
done
there
that?
are some that smell kind of,
Well, like a muat.
yeah, the fire cured. No, but
Something
it's like
wrong with
some
this
of them
one.
kind of have like a fucking horse barn manure smell
That's
to
true.
them. There are some. I'm not saying all of them. But it is weird. It is when you think about it and you break it down, and there's probably some purists out there. They're like, the reason we do this,
Stimulates
go
the
fuck
senses.
yourself. Go fuck yourself. Because here's the thing: it's going to be totally different than the fucking burn. As soon as the smoking experiences begin, the flavors are going to change. They're going to brighten up. They're going to expand. It's just not. It does nothing for you. It's like from a sensory perspective. I think it's more important to look and observe the cigar with your eyes than it is just to sniff it with your nose, you fucking weirdos. By the way, some motherfuckers pull those shit off the shelves and they start fucking sniffing it right up to their fucking nose hairs and they go, that's not for me, and they put it back.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. Whoever does that, fuck off. If I see someone do that in a humidor, I will lose my shit. I'll go, what the fuck? Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And then the next
That's
person,
your cigar now. You fucking own that cigar.
and then the next person that goes in there starts sniffing it with their friend. They go like, "Does this smell like snot?"
Does it smell like someone else sniffed this? What if someone's... Think about this. All right, let's stay on this topic. I know we have a review to do. We got plenty of time, so fucking hang tight with us. Think about this. Some dude sniffs it and his little nose hairs go from end to end.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of snot on his nose, maybe some food, like leftover like pastrami sandwich, and like a little dried milk right here. And he sniffs the cigar all the way across, all from head to foot.
Mm-hmm.
And then some poor bastard comes in, picks up that cigar, puts it in his mouth and twists it around to get it nice and lubricated. And that milky, pussy, dry food, snotty fucking fluid that is dried onto the cigar is now in some other guy's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Because I've seen him press it right up to the nose. Like, I'm sorry, but if you can't smell it from right here, something's wrong with your fucking nose.
It's true.
I don't know. I'm getting so amped up about this. Where were we? I don't even know.
No,
I may have blacked out.
Construction's great.
Okay, great construction. I also agree. Incredibly well made. Yeah, it has to be for $21. I gotta say that. Listen, it better fucking be well made.
Better be impeccable.
For $20. I also agree with you. It's that smooth milk chocolatey wrapper, beautifully made, and it does actually remind me. If you look at some other Plasencia cigars, it just has that perfect symmetrical cylindrical look, and it's like it's smooth. It's like, to me. Maybe it's not as important because we talked about this before. I always use the example of like the CAO Amazon as like a very primitive looking cigar. It looks like someone just fucking hacked up a bunch of tobacco and threw it together, but somehow it works. This is not that. This is like perfection made. You know what I mean? It's like anybody who struggles with even a moniker of OCD where everything has to be neat and tidy. This is the kind of cigar that you'll like when that. Like, you'll look at it and go, okay, ooh. It's not giving me anxiety because it looks all fucking rigid and bumpy and wavy and so on. Mm-hmm. It's like symmetrical. Yeah. It's perfect. Construction was awesome. What do you think about the burn?
It burns pretty good, man. It's a decent, consistent burn line on it. Light gray ash, slightly flaky. What else have I got here? Oh, honestly, this is probably the most highlighted point of this. Dude, it had like the perfect draw resistance. It's like you have overly airy, you have too tight. Dude, it was just enough resistance to where it made for like a really easy 1-2 puffer. I usually hear me say like 2-3 puffer. I'm usually take one to get a small hit of smoke in, then another one which draws in like another.
Just keep igniting it.
Yeah. This was like 1-2. It's like, And it was just like, you
Yeah.
know, and it was like, I typically have 2-3 puffer type burn experiences because I like a nice full mouth of smoke. I feel like that gives me the most adequate amount of flavor. This one, being the draw it was, I mean, it was a 1-2 puffer. I love a good 1-2 puffer.
Yeah.
There's not many cigars that do that for me outside of a really well burning like box press. Like those the only ones where I can think of like it really does the trick.
I'll tell you this, those experiences have been few and far between for me recently.
Yeah, no, strange.
I had one last night. I was pretty stoked about it. And it was Room 101 Connecticut. And I was like, this thing is burning like a goddamn champ. And it was exceptional. Like perfect. It's like when you think about, you know, here's the thing. Like the burn experience, if you're not reviewing a cigar, should be fairly nondescript. You only recognize it if you have to touch things up or you have to relight or whatever. Otherwise, it's the thing that you don't think about. You don't consider it because it's just an expectation around this thing is supposed to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're breaking down a cigar and you're reviewing it and you're intentionally kind of assessing everything, you recognize when something is overly good, where it's like above the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of what that Room 101's when I smoked it yesterday. I was like, God damn, this thing's smoking like a fucking champ. And I'm just kind of looking at the burn line just at certain intervals in the cigar. I'm like, dude, this is like the most even burn line I've had in a cigar. And I can't tell you, I smoke fucking 4 cigars a day. And I cannot tell you the last time I was like, where I actually was like, fuck, man, this thing is incredible. It's burning beautifully. The fucking draw was amazing. Tons of fucking smoke. I'm like, why can't they all do that? Just everybody do that. Someone figure out what Room 101 did with that cigar. I think it was an AJ made cigar. So go back to the factory and say, what did you do with that? Who's the roller? What did they do? Give them a raise and then teach everyone that method. It was perfect. Anyway, we're not talking about Room 101.
Great burn.
Now, to parallel that, nice consistent burn line in this particular cigar, exceptional draw, exceptional smoke output.
Mm-hmm.
So far, talking about great construction. Great construction obviously leads into many times how a cigar is going to burn. Obviously, the two are in sync with one another. Burn experience is fucking great. Mm-hmm. It's great on this cigar. And remember, it's a Toro. It's a 6x50. No challenges, no pits, no relights, nothing.
No.
It's a good, consistent burn, which, by the way, again, I will remind you, better be the expectation with a cigar that costs $21. What about flavors, Chris? What'd you get out of this bad boy?
Ooh, this one was interesting. We've mentioned roller coasters in the past. What does a roller coaster say? My roller coaster is like lots of up and down hills, some flippity doos, some corkscrews, some quick stops, some things that jar your head. By the time you get out of that corkscrew, you're like, where the fuck am I? That's a roller coaster to me. I don't know what a roller coaster is to you. Maybe you're afraid of heights. But I will say this. The initial draw that I got from the cigar had a strong amount of spice up front that hit in the back of the throat. I'm like, okay, this has got some kick to it in the very beginning. Okay. And it lasted for just a teensy a bit. But then it like opened up to a lot of earthy, bittery, even kind of meaty, leathery notes. I'm like, okay, I got that spice. Now I got some of those earthy components, some of that meatiness. Okay, I like that. And then there was like a moment where it was like salty, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe a brain misfire, but I'm pretty sure that's what I got. And then about 10 to 15% into the cigar, we're being that analytical with you. You and I, we break these down. We do it by the 5% marks, not thirds like everybody else. Everybody else that does it, real lazily.
Yeah, I remember one time, who was it? Alex was like, why does everyone do everything in thirds?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a good point, because oftentimes when I reference cigars and I talk about like the smoking experience, I don't really talk about certain flavor changes. I don't talk about in thirds. Usually, typically for me, I make a point to say what has happened at the halfway point.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because I'm lazy.
I think I just identify transitionary points. Usually I don't say like 10% in.
I think the problem, though, is that the industry has gotten so used to believing that there is going to be some sort of flavor change at like some a third interval. But the only way that you could get that is if the tobacco is bunched and blended and bunched in a way that allows it to occur. But oftentimes it's not. So like you may get the same characteristics of a cigar all the way through. We've talked about that before. Cigars that aren't overly dynamic maybe what you get you love, but it's long lasting. It's from the beginning to the end is the similar profile with little changes, if any at all. So it's interesting how people break it up into thirds with the expectation that something is going to change 33.3% through.
Yep. It's
very weird.
I'm not experiencing it yet. What's wrong?
Yeah, dude, some people do that though. It's like someone said I should be getting this at this point. And I'm just like, dude, don't even listen to us.
No. This
is our experience.
Yeah.
We're just giving you the highlights of what we think, but fucking do it yourself.
I'm telling you, at 10.45% into this cigar length, because I measured the total length, and then I took the burn length from the foot to where my current burn line was, and then divided that by the total length of the cigar, and that gave me the percent value, which was right around 10.45% on the burning.
It'd be so funny if someone did that. Anyway, continue.
But then, out of all of that, this earthy, spicy, upfront blast of flavor, it got like sweet and creamy. And I'm like, wow, okay. All right, there's some more flavors. Let's see. Hopefully my brain can process it.
Is that your corkscrew?
Yep, that was my corkscrew. When it came out of it, like, oh, but I missed the thing about this roller coaster is I missed the camera. I didn't realize the camera was at the end of this corkscrew. So when it came out, it was like, I looked real fucked up. But that said, it opened up into some nice, sweet, creamy notes, which I really liked. And then it really just kind of transitioned between the sweet and creamy and then more woodiness and then back to leathery meatiness and then back to the creaminess until it burned harshly at the end. but I will say this, it was but for a majority of the cigar, and it really, let's be analytical here, for 89.123% of the cigar, it was great. There were so many variabilities, like of flavors that happened in it. Like heavier draws did something different, lighter draws did something different. If I was smoking it, like I was like pacing myself and like letting it kind of have a more cooler draw, it was like more creamy and sweet. It was great, man. It was like a science experiment of trying to figure out what flavor I was going to get on the next bit. So I really liked the flavors. I thought it was so much variability to it, and it was hard to track, but it was like, you get through like 10, 15 puffs and you're getting something slightly different or completely different than what you were getting. So I really liked it. It was kind of like a fun house.
Nice. I dig it. For me, definitely that kind of an expected pepper up front. I did think it was like a bit woody, had like some of those roasted toasted, especially on the retrohale. You really kind of brings out like more of like a roasted flavor, which I really like. I enjoy that a lot. What I thought was cool was it was kind of interlaced with some creaminess. Mm-hmm. So it's like a really cool, like, because you get some of those like the really smoky notes that can sometimes feel harsh on a retrohale.
Yeah.
But if you have something that's like more easy or tame tobacco that offers some of the creaminess, it layers just so nicely, or where it makes that experience not only less harsh, but incredibly enjoyable. The wow factor for me in this cigar was there's this weird floral and herbalness that comes in really around the halfway point. And that kind of meets in with that creaminess. It was something that, one, I'd never experienced in a Plasencia cigar before, and certainly didn't anticipate I was going to get in this cigar. And maybe I was having a stroke. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But I really, really like that, because that's a characteristic of Davidoff that I really like. Mm-hmm. That's what I like about Davidoff so much, is there is that aromatic to it. It does have that floralness. It does have that herbalness. It just offers something a bit bright and bitter than most cigars traditionally do. It sets itself apart. And that's kind of what this cigar reminded me of. It's just setting itself apart, even as a Plasencia cigar, which Plasencia has come out with some amazing fucking cigars. Even as a Plasencia cigar, non-branded Plasencia, I'm looking at this going, from flavor perspective, this is kind of better than most Plasencias I've had.
Yeah, I can see that.
And again, it fucking better be for $21. Now let's get into that, Chris. What did you think about the value of price for this cigar?
It's so much.
It's $21.
It's so much. And don't get me wrong, I've bought me a $20 stick. And I think even in some regards, I've labeled some $20 sticks as, worth it. I don't know. This is a regular production, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I battled with this one.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, 21's a lot.
There's just certain people that occupy and own that space. And I think it's really tough as a manufacturer to try to play in that space and do it in a way in which you aren't further disrupting anything and you're not harming your own brand. Like I think about a company like El Septimo and I go, I don't care who says they like your cigars. They're fucking, none of them are worth the fucking money. There's very few out there that are. And for the ones that are, there's just something so dynamically different, or if there's a certain process that they introduce, there's certain tobaccos they have that no one else has access to, whatever it may be. They own that space. And so I feel like you have to have the rights to be in that space. And I don't know if this cigar has that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. And maybe it's because Ferio Tego in my head just sounds like a food truck that like sits at like the corner street downtown, and they make amazing shit.
Yeah, their Euros are great.
You know, they make amazing shit, but they're still only like $5 meals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's interesting.
I feel like if it was $18, I would even have a much harder time. I'd probably even swing towards maybe closer to like, yeah, it's worth it. $15, no question. I think it's a $15 cigar. I think it's got enough of that coolness to it and variability in flavor, and it just like hits my palate that I would be good with a $15 purchase.
Imagine if it was 10.
Oh my God, I'd be like buying these all day.
Yeah,
all
that would
day.
be box worthy at 10.
Yeah, I'd buy them all day.
It'd be potentially box worthy at 12.
Yeah.
Outside of 12, I think it becomes not as box worthy. Then it becomes more 5-pack worthy, I think.
Yeah.
But at 21,
and something like Generoso, think of the word generous. What?
It's not very generous.
It's not very generous.
I don't even know if that's what the definition is. I never looked it up. Fail. I'll just say it. I think it's overpriced. I give it a minus 1%. I give it a deduction just because, again, we'll get into the pros and cons of the cigar here in a second because we got to wrap this up. But I do feel it's overpriced. But we'll get into some of those things. Chris, what do you think? What did you like about the cigar? What did you dislike about the cigar?
If you like variability of flavor, if you like woody, spicy, sweet, creamy, salty, leathery, you even gave a word of like aromatics and kind of floralness. If you like variability and you like cigars that change up, those are big pluses.
Yeah.
Because I think the construction and burn will speak for itself when you see it. That those are two great factors that'll make the burn and the overall like burn experience as a whole great. But obviously, I think the biggest con with this cigar is probably just the price. The accessibility of like, damn, I want to smoke a cigar.
Right.
$21.
You're like, ugh. You're probably going to keep searching for other shit on the shelves at that point.
But outside of that, I don't really see any other cons for me. I mean, it's an hour and a half smoke.
Yeah.
You know, and it's great. And it's great.
It's a sizable dong.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with everything you said. Amazing bright flavors. Loved it on the Retro Hill. It's absolutely incredible on the Retro Hill. All the flavors come out in the best way possible, right? That's the amplification that you get when you really start smoking stuff and you intentionally smoke it on the Retro Hill. So much better. And this is a cigar that I think you should do over and over and over again. Keep drawing on the Retro Hill. It's absolutely amazing. I agree with you. Construction and burn, near flawless. They speak for themselves. Like that's really what gives you that effortless experience. It allows you to concentrate on the dynamics of the flavors and the complexity of the cigar. So I think it just did exactly what it needed to do. It was constructed in a way that allowed you to do that. Mm-hmm. The only con I have is the steep price.
Yep.
$21. Michael Herklotz has a great reputation in the industry. Plasencia does as well. And I'm not saying the cigar, over time is not worth it. I really have a tough time sometimes with like cigars coming onto the market and it's just being like, 21 versus 10 is a big difference. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a fucking 200. Is that a 200% increase? Is that 100% increase? Mm-hmm. 200% increase. How does that work? Double. 200% increase.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. There's some really fucking good $10 cigars and I hate to see really good cigars. And I get it. Like if you're using rare tobaccos, stuff that's been, sitting for a long time, there's a cost associated with things aging, right? Because it's taking up space. There's a financial component to that. I get it. But $21 for a lot of people is prohibitive. And I think this is a brand. I think this is such a good cigar. I would really like to see it in more people's hands and cost that high kind of cost. Although it may be a necessity and I don't know, it'd be nice to see it not that high. Personally for me. but I did like the cigar. So what did you give it as a score?
Gave it a 92.3%, which is highly recommended.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I really liked the flavor a lot. It had so much great change ups, and there wasn't really a particular point where I was like, I don't like that.
What's interesting is I gave it a 93.2.
Oh.
So the inverse of yours, kind of, which averages out to a 92.7, which will round up to a 93, which of course is highly recommended. And not only, I think, is this the first cigar that we've reviewed this year,
it's a high
it's
one.
the highest.
It's the highest.
It also gets that mark as well. And you know, that's interesting is that we're coming in with this new cigar. It's already the March time frame. We're in the middle of March, and it's the first one we reviewed in a long time. And it scores a really healthy 93. And now I kind of look at it as like, okay, so we got to do some more reviews throughout the year to make this an even playing field.
Everybody gets 93s.
93s across the board. We throw them out like
very
fucking candy.
Bell curve.
Yeah. I think this cigar is absolutely incredible. I really, really, really did like it. The price point is the only prohibitive thing for me, and not for me personally. I got money, so I'll buy $21 cigar.
Yeah.
Daddy's loaded.
Yeah.
I can back up the Brinks truck. We're offloading cash.
Yeah.
I think for some people, I think people are going to look at it and the perception is going to be, it's like, 21? Yeah, I'd really like to smoke this. Hey, I like Michael Herklots. And maybe they smoke it one time, but it does seem a little bit prohibitive.
Well, I think you're just turning like a regular production cigar into like a special occasion cigar. And I don't necessarily
But isn't
know.
that what Davidoff is?
It can be.
Is that what Ashen is? Isn't that what some of the higher end Fuentes are?
It can be, yeah. It can be.
I don't know. I mean, I'd be curious to see, like, okay, does this work as a strategy long term? Maybe it does. I mean, fuck. I mean, I don't run the business.
Listen,
so.
you want to get away with that $20 price point easy with consumers who are cheaper? Just throw limited edition on it.
Yeah, there you go. All right. That being said, we go over the reviews, but certainly we want to put it in the hands of the consumers to say, what do you guys think about it? We said it's highly recommended, but curious to see what other people's opinions are. And with that, let's wrap up the episode. If you missed last week's episode, hopefully by the time you're listening again, it's back on the podcast platforms. If it's not, it's available on YouTube. You don't have to watch us. You can just listen.
Mm-hmm.
But it is on the Tubies, but should be on all the other platforms as well at this point. So you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can check out our Discord. All the links are in our bio on Instagram, and I'll post them below in this YouTube comment section. But with that, let's wrap up episode 235. We'll be back at you next week with episode 236. See you, everyone.
Bye.